A very good evening to all of you. I welcome you to this session of the last lap to XAT. Today we are going to talk about vocabulary and grammar, right? So let's get started. Let's see why we are doing this. How many questions from vocabulary and grammar come in XAT? All right. Hi Jaydev, good evening. Good evening, all of you. All right. Good evening, Hamza. So, of course, we'll talk about vocabulary and grammar. That's why we are having this session. And we'll see how to approach these questions, right? How to solve these questions. The focus will, of course, be on solving today, right? Good evening, Gaurav. Good evening, Priyanshi. Okay, so let's talk about the verbal ability and logical reasoning section of XAT, right? In VALR, what is it that you get? As per XAT 2022, if I talk about the most recent XAT paper, you had 12 questions from RC passages. Then there were two poems this time with three questions. So one poem had just one question and one had two questions, right? Four questions from critical reasoning, three from grammar, and these two were from vocabulary. So all in all, five questions. And if you look at your previous year papers also, 21, 20, 19, this has been more or less the trend that from vocabulary and grammar you get about five questions, right? So we should be able to score in these five questions, right? Because while the other questions such as RCs, poems, critical reasoning on that they could be moderate or difficult, if we prepare for these well, right, they can be manageable for us. Okay, so that is why we are having this session and that is why you should prepare for grammar and vocabulary. Hello, hello, good evening, Ayush, Amrit, Prakshi. A very good evening to those who are just joining in. Yes, two questions from Parajumbles also came, but they were pretty manageable because you have options, right? MCQ Parajumbles are not that difficult in general. So let's see, you know, what kinds of questions come and what we are going to practice today. So sometimes the fill in the blanks, the vocabulary fill in the blanks of that are not that easy, right? So we'll see how to eliminate, how to group and eliminate so that we are able to navigate through these questions. And in grammar, that can ask you fill in the blanks, error spotting, sentence correction. Okay, find the incorrect sentence out of a set of sentences. One sentence expressed in five ways where you have to spot an error. And the errors, now that could be specific also. So, for instance, last year it asked us specific errors on prepositions, right? Or it could be a general sentence, a general question also, where they ask you to spot the correct or incorrect sentence. They don't tell you what area the error is from, right? So, all kinds of questions when it comes to grammar. All right. So, what we are going to do today, we are going to practice some questions that are patterned on past year questions. Having said this, all of you have to go through that previous year questions. Go through the early that papers also. Don't think that you just have to go for, let's say, the past 5 years or the past 10 years. Whichever paper of that previous year is available in the public domain, practice that paper. Practice all of them. Okay, all of them have some really insightful questions. Right, and today we are going to do some questions patterned on the past year questions. Right? Ayush, unfortunately, I couldn't because um, our team members could not note them down, could not actually memorize them. Right? Okay. So, coming to question one. Now, see this. Protests are usually thought of as big, noisy. Okay, they are thought of as big, noisy, sometimes dash affairs. So, whenever you have a contextual vocabulary question, whenever you have a fill in the blank question, pay attention to the context. Something that I've been telling you, okay, something that we've practiced for IFT as well. So, any word that comes in this blank has to be consistent with big, noisy, sometimes dash affairs. Right. So, keeping this in mind, keeping this concept in mind, tell me what the answer for this question should be. Yes. Okay. Hello, Karthik, Ashish, Pushpendra. I just saw your messages. Good evening. So, Pushpendra has already answered. Saurav has answered. Amrit has answered. All right. E, C, A. What else? Others also. I need a lot of responses. No negative marking here, yes? D, okay. So, I've got C, D, E, and A. Just B has been eliminated. All right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So, of course, A cannot be the answer because we were calling them big, noisy. So, sometimes quiet, no, we just a second, just a second. My voice is echoing. Sorry. So, yeah, I was telling you that quiet cannot come here because I need a word that is in line with big and noisy. Quiet does not fit here. Eliminated right away. The others, they do fit. Boisterous, raucous, strident, rowdy, all of them fit the first blank. So let's look at the second blank then. Now, they where agitated participants root for change, okay? Root is when you support someone, right? That's when you root for that person. Clamor for change, rumbling for change, request for change. See, we are talking about catchy chants later on, splashy banners. So it's not going to be a request, okay, in a big noisy affair where you're carrying banners, where you're chanting, right? It's not really going to be a request. So E is eliminated, it does not fit the context. D can be eliminated on the basis of grammar. So where agitated participants do something, okay, they do something. So they rumble for change would be correct. Rumbling for change is not correct. Okay, rumble, the sound of thunder is a rumbling sound. They rumble for change would fit here grammatically. Rumbling does not. So see, by the time we reach the second blank, we have come to two options. Now, stymieing change. See, stymie is not a difficult word. Okay, in fact, it's an informal word. It means to hinder something, to impede something. And no, they don't want to impede change. They don't want to hinder change. So eliminated again. We are left with C. C is our answer. So they are raucous affairs where agitated participants sometimes clamor for change. They clamor. When you clamor for something, again, it's you ask for it in a very chaotic, noisy way. Right? So very related words, all of these. Your raucous laughter, clamor is again a very loud, confused noise. So, clamor for change fits absolutely here. And sparking, initiating change, that is what I need here. Not impeding, not stymieing. Okay, so this is the answer. All right. Now, the other words also very quickly. Raucous laughter. Noisy and unpleasant laughter. Something that's very loud and unpleasant. That kind of a sound is called a raucous sound. Right? Strident, again, strident, if you are strident, making, strident protests. If you, let's say, are protesting stridently for something. So very vociferously, very loudly, harshly, you are asking for it. That is strident, loud and harsh. So all of these words are pretty related. Boisterous again means noisy. So all related to noise, noisy and unpleasant. Right. Then strident, again, harsh and noisy, harsh and loud. Rowdy, again, disorderly. It has this notion of disorderly and noisy. Galvanizing, you galvanize a person. You can galvanize a person. You fill them with enthusiasm, with energy when you galvanize them. Comes from the scientific process of galvanizing zinc, right? So, right, it comes from the name of a person, name of a scientist, this word. Such words are called eponyms, right? So this is how you attempt a vocabulary, contextual vocabulary question. You have to group and eliminate as you proceed, and you have to understand the context, right? All right. Yes, cacophony is again a harsh sound. Correct, correct. How many questions from VRC will be good for that? See, Now it depends on, are you asking from the perspective of just clearing the cutoffs? Okay, so cutoffs for sectional cutoffs for that tend to be low, right? So from that perspective, you don't need to attempt a lot of questions if let's say VRC is your weakness. But in case you want to maximize your score, then that's another business altogether, right? So tell me your goal and I'll tell you. Okay, coming to the second question. Yes, tell me what the answer should be here. Okay, and which sections happen to be your strength? Okay, all right. So you need to score about 8.59 marks. Okay, if you just want to clear the cutoff for VRC, right? So 10 लगा के चल लो, safe side. 10 marks score करने हैं. So accordingly, decide which questions you want to attempt. If let's say just clearing the cutoff is your goal, right? 80 percentile for VRC. Okay, but you get that 80 at 9, 10 बहुत आराम से. Okay. All right. Coming to our question, coming back to our question, I want more responses. Come on, don't get distracted. D, A, all right. What else? I've got another A. All right, all right. Okay. A, all right, all right. I am coming back to my questions, my discussion. Okay, I want more responses. Okay, so together with excerpts pulled from each book, Damrosch builds a or an. Now, see, the examiner is clever here. He or she has taken care of the fact that you don't eliminate on the basis of grammar, at least for the first blank. So that's why a or an has been given, right? Dash, that dash the globe, okay, and does not require a passport to enjoy. That means you're not actually traveling. His carefully curated, compiled dash of must read written works spans time periods and continents and includes a diverse selection of voices. Right? So, let's see what all can fit here. Let's start with the second blank here. Okay. You are dash the globe. So, can you circulate the globe? Okay. Or in fact, even if it's a plan or an itinerary, a travelogue, can it circulate the globe? Is that word correct there? No. Circulate is not correct. Circumscribe, it means to limit, to restrict. Even that is not correct. Circumvent is to avoid altogether. So, does not fit. So, circumvent, circulate, circumscribe, all rejected here. We are left with travels and circumnavigates. So a plan, okay, perhaps he builds a plan, we'll see. That travels the globe, a plan that travels the globe sounds odd. His carefully curated collection of must-read written works. No, it's basically a compendium. A compendium fits better here. What does a compendium do? It puts important information from various sources in a concise manner. Okay, that is a compendium. So this makes more sense that he actually curated a compendium of these written works rather than a collection of these books. Collection would imply that all these books, nothing has been shortened there. Right. So obviously D is better. He basically builds an itinerary, a plan as to how to travel that circumnavigates, that travels around the globe. And his carefully curated compendium makes the best sense here. Right? Anyway, agenda does not fit. He's building an agenda from, let's say, books. It does not fit with the rest of the sentence, so that could be eliminated. It is not an expedition because you're not actually traveling, so that is eliminated. Travelogue refers to the experiences of a traveler, a person who has himself or herself traveled, whereas this person is pulling excerpts from each book, so does not fit. Okay, anthology is usually a collection of poems, right? Does not fit. Compilation could have fitted, but then we've already rejected this, right? Digest of must-read written books, again, not as good a fit as compendium, right? So D Delhi is our answer here. Okay. Circumvent is to eschew. Yes, eschew, abandon, escape, elude. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Harsh. For poems, I'll suggest. Okay, let's just do 5, 6 questions. Okay, and then I'll suggest. So D Delhi is the answer here. Coming to the third one. Okay. Yes, correct, Harsh. Builds an expedition is incorrect. You can plan an expedition, builds an expedition is incorrect. See, itinerary is specifically a plan related to your traveling, a day by day plan related to your travel. A plan is a broader word. It could be regarding anything. It could be a business plan, right? So itinerary fits better here because we are talking about traveling. Okay, let's see what you say here. Yes, the GK compendium for that. You could relate it to the GK compendiums. Correct. C, D, all right. Again, another D I've got. Others. I need more responses. No negative marking here. And I don't judge you for incorrect answers, by the way. D or C, okay, confused. All right. Okay, so this is a good question in the sense that you can actually, in case you know the meanings of these words that are there in the first blank, no, you can crack this question in one go. Okay, just through the first blank. With its long tangles, right? So tangled hair, right? So with it long tangles of dash leaves that bend and sway with the ocean waves. Okay, so we are talking about leaves that hang in long tangles, that bend and that sway. There is a word for such leaves, which is the correct answer here, right? But anyway, let's say I don't know what sinuous is, what verdant is. Let's say I don't know. So how do I attempt this question then? Then, so kelp is a common sight along the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and is especially dash in the cold waters. So, especially in a way, you want to say that it is specially found there. Okay, so barren, no, that will not fit. Sparse, again, sparse means when something occurs far in between. So that is sparse. So even that won't fit. Barren, sparse, eliminated here, right? Similarly, if I look at the third blank, I can eliminate range very easily. Kelp forests not only provide ample range and nutrition, range does not make sense here. Eliminated. So three options gone out of the window. We are left with B and E here. Okay, so E has some difficult words, I agree. But you tell me, does prolific fit here? Basically, I want to show that, okay, they are found in large numbers there. So To me, prolific seems correct here. Then provide ample habitat, because yes, they are forests, so they can provide ample habitat also. Even this fits here. The answer is B. Sinuous refers to, sinuous is used for, it's an adjective that is used for something that, again, that bends, that tangles, that is called sinuous. Okay, so something that curves, turns, that is sinuous. So sinuous fits the best here. B, Bangalore is the answer, not D, Delhi, and not E also. But for our knowledge, let's see the meanings of these words. Verdant, something that is green, okay, and raw. Like, raw mangoes. They have this verdant color, verdant mangoes. So green and raw, both these qualities are, communicated by verdant. Something that is rich in vegetation is also called verdant, right? So rich in vegetation is also verdant. So हरियाली जिसे हम बोलते हैं, right? Rich in vegetation. Vernal is related to, any idea? Vernal. Of course, this is also an adjective. This is related to spring. Vernal is related to, it means related to spring. It's an adjective which means related to spring. So vernal flowers would be flowers that come during spring, okay, that bloom during spring. Verbiage. Verbiage, in case you knew the meaning of verbiage, no, you would eliminate E right away. It does not fit at all here. Verbiage is any long speech, any tedious speech or discussion, that is verbiage. Okay, so if it could be something written also, not necessarily speech. So something in writing or in speech that is too lengthy and tedious. Okay, that is verbiage. It's a noun, right? So difference between habitat and habitation. Habitat is the place where people live. Habitation is the basically that state of inhabiting a place. That is called habitation. That is the difference. Okay, so habitat refers to the place. So it provides a place, it provides nutrition, the forest here. Prolific, something present in large numbers here means prolific. Okay, sinuous, something that bends, curves, turns. So B, Bangalore. Right? Harangue is a rant. Okay, so you can relate the two words. You can relate verbiage to harangue, but harangue is more of a rant, a tirade. Okay, rant, tirade. These are the synonyms, right? Okay, so good question this one. Now I am so sorry. This shouldn't have happened. Uh, okay, sorry, that happened by mistake. Let's come to this question. Manifestation. I didn't see your question earlier. It's not my intention to ignore anyone's questions. But GK's marks are relevant for your stage 2. Okay, so I understand that in your percentile they'll not be counted, but then their marks, it is there for a reason, right? So in stage 2 it is relevant. So no, you can't skip it altogether, right? CR related will happen, Okay. CR, yes, critical reasoning does come in XAT in the VALR section itself. Decision making is a whole separate section. Okay. All right. Someone asked if just clearing the cutoffs is enough. See, it's enough to get a call, but not for, I mean, in your final selection, of course, the higher percentile you have, the better. Okay. And it's a mix of factors. It also depends on how your interview goes there. So it's not a product of just one thing. Okay. So clearing the cutoffs is mandatory to get a call. Okay. And the higher you score, the better. Of course, that is there. Right? Okay, so E is what I've got. All right. Okay. That's good. E is the answer. So see, this question is to show you that not all questions are going to be difficult, right? Uh, so this exclusivity, we are basically excluding some people here, right? So exclusivity, inclusiveness does not fit here. Exclusively, it can be eliminated on the basis of grammar. This is an adverb, whereas I need a noun here. So can be eliminated. So see, on what all basis am I eliminating? Context, right? Then I'm looking at the tone through the context itself. I'm looking at the tone of the surrounding words, right? I am paying attention to grammar, whether I need a noun, what do I need, right? And when I'm grouping, so basically how am I grouping that? Okay, uh, so second blank के basis पे ये eliminate हो गया, third के basis पे ये eliminate हो गया. So this is how you proceed in these questions, because you may not know the meaning of each and every word, which is fine, right? What is inured? Inured, inured. So when we talk about inured, it means we have become accustomed. Inured means accustomed to something unpleasant, to something bad. So you have just toughened yourself up for that thing. So you've become accustomed to something unpleasant. Okay. So this was a new word. What is unfathomed? Unfathomed, something that has not been fathom. So fathom is usually used for depth, right? So when we say I cannot even fathom your pain, I mean to say I can't even begin to understand the depth of your pain. Unfathomed means not explored. Basically, you've not gone in that depth, right? So unfathomed, pristine is pure and untouched. Pure and untouched. That is pristine. Okay, and anything else? No. Others are easy. Yes, other words are easy. Okay, not imagined or comprehended. Correct, correct. Unfathomed. That is also a meaning. How does vulnerable fit in the fourth blank? When you're vulnerable to something, you are susceptible to it, right? That means that thing can easily happen to you. That is one meaning of vulnerable, right? So one is that you show your vulnerable side to someone, but vulnerable also means the capability of being harmed, right? So vulnerable to exploitation means that here, right? Okay. So, exclusivity, unexplored of the deep sea, has left the vast majority of the deep sea unexplored, understudied. Okay, its natural wonders understudied and vulnerable to exploitation. Okay, so E is the answer here. Okay. Now, so these were some multi-blank FIBs. Okay, they are also called cloze tests. One paragraph is given, some words are deleted, you have to plug in those words. Let's look at our normal usual one blank FIBs now. Right, so these are your questions. I mean, this is your question, these are your options. Just a second. Just four options here. Mm. Meanwhile, you look at the question, I'll see if there are just four options here. Just four options here. In that, you have five options. Okay. Here, there are just four. How many questions you just saw, no? That there were three FIBs in the previous year manifestation. So, approximately three FIBs you can expect. Yes, Samhita, we will do that. We will do that. Okay, just let me just fix that once. Meanwhile, let me see what you say about this one. I've got some A's. All right. D also. C also I've got. So just B has been eliminated, is it? All right, let's have a look. Historians play against the or and dash parlor game. Parlor game, basically a game that you play with people you've got together for a let's say for an evening, right? That's called a parlor game. So historians play a or and dash parlor game, debating whether today more closely resembles the turbulent 1970s or the catastrophic 1930s. That means today's time is also not a good time, according to this sentence. Amid these titanic changes, no one shows signs of being in control. Again, negative. I need a negative word here. Okay, so through the tone, it's very clear. Ominous fits. Okay, onerous, it means burdensome. Burdensome. Okay, so they play a burdensome parlor game, does not fit as much as an ominous parlor game. Propitious means auspicious, so that cannot come. Propitiate, to propitiate someone is to appease them. Okay, usually we perform various rituals, religious rituals to appease the gods, right? So propitiate as a verb means to appease. Propitiated means appeased, right? So the gods will be propitiated. They will be appeased. So these don't fit here. Ominous, something that signals that bad times are about to come, right? So that is the one that I need here. C should be the answer. Okay. Turbulent is disturbing. Yes. Correct, correct, correct. A good chance of success. Something that's favorable, something that's auspicious. Pious means pure. Pious is related to purity. Okay, piety. It comes from the word piety. So this propitiate has a very specific meaning that you're trying to please the gods. Okay, and propitious is something that's very auspicious, opportune, very favorable for you. Pious is simply that you are religious, okay, and in that sense have very pure thoughts. That is when you are pious, right? So related but not synonyms. Okay. So this one was an easy question, okay? No, it's not omni, it's ominous. Coming to the next one. Yes. Let's see what you say here. Okay, so far I haven't got any response, okay? Yes, A, Parag says A, all right. A, E, A, D, okay. Let's have a look at this. Uh, I've got A, D, and E from you. Now, the family breakdown, there has been some dispute which has led to the breakdown of the family, right? So, a tenuous link, okay, if I call something a tenuous link, that means it's a weak link. Tenuous means weak. This is the context in which I have read this word, that's why I gave you this context. Convivial. This is, a word that you often hear in the context of parties. So, conviviality is an atmosphere where everyone is happy in a get together. That is conviviality. So, convivial again relates to that jolly, pleasant time in the company of others. So, not at all the answer. Now, bilious is used for people. So, you can call a person bilious if they are bad tempered. Bilious also has the meaning of sickly. If someone is sick, right? Nauseous, then also you can call them bilious. So these are the two meanings. Actually, it's related. The word is related to bile, which is released by our liver, right? Bile juice, जो हमारा liver release करता है, right? Liver ही करता है ना? हाँ, so bilious comes from there. So it can be related to sick also. That's why. And earlier it was felt that people got angry, irritated because of the yellow bile. This was a belief earlier, right? For humor theory, if you remember it. So that's why it means bad-tempered also. But it's used for people and therefore does not fit here. Okay, so eliminate it. We are left with these two. Which one do you think is better out of these two? Venial, I'm getting from some of you. Short-tempered, yes. Bad-tempered, irritable. So yes, you can relate it to bilious. Yes. Venial, on the other hand, is used for something that is pardonable. Acha, gallbladder releases it. Whatever, whichever part of the body. Uh, so venial, it is a religious word actually. It comes from Christianity, Christian theology, and it means a sin that is pardonable, that is forgivable. Okay, so that is venial. So how venial, how forgivable the family breakdown has been does not make sense. It has to be acrimonious. And in case you attended my previous vocabulary sessions, we have discussed the word acrimonious. Okay. In fact, I remember discussing it twice in the recent sessions only. Acrimony, it means anger, bitterness. So acrimonious means bitter and angry. And it is particularly used for speech discussion. Okay, particularly used for speech discussion. Okay, so D Delhi is the answer here. No other option. In case you remember, I even showed you this earlier in one of the sessions. So this is from Friends, for those who have watched it. So Joe is not very good at vocabulary, right? And he's dating this really smart woman who uses this word acrimonious. So he also tries to fit this word everywhere, okay, in various contexts, but he always gets it wrong. So he says, see, if we want to grab the bite before work, we would better get acrimonious. So then Ross stares at him, glares at him that, you're not using it right. So he says, no, am I even getting close? So he uses it wrong. Acrimonious means bitter and angry. All right, all right. Correct. All of you, in case you have a query that you want specifically to be answered and that I have forgotten to answer, you can repost it. Okay. Coming to question 4, yes. So, eliminate and tell me which options can be easily eliminated. That's what you have to tell me for this question. Which options can be easily eliminated? Yes. Okay. A is what I've got. So we have people who are narcissists also in the chat box. We have people who are manifesting things also in the chat box. A very interesting group I've got today. Right. So Amrit says A can be easily eliminated. Okay. So the death penalty exists, but so it exists, but this is dashed by most Europeans. So I need a negative word here. It is not accepted. So endorsed, eliminated right away. Okay. Look at the other blanks also. Yes. So it is dashed by most Europeans, for they are beyond such dash. So they are beyond such cruelty. That's probably what I want to say, right? Beyond such empathy, no, no. They are against death penalty. They are empathetic people. So D is eliminated, isn't it? Then look at the third one. Does that help me? And yes, even acha, A we have already eliminated, so no point in eliminating it again. Uh, Executing a criminal would be illegal under the European Convention, the European Court of Justice, and a whole dash of related laws and protocols. There is one option that can be easily eliminated on the basis of the third blank. It is a whole handful does not make sense. Handful means few, right? Something that can fit in your hand. Okay, so a whole handful, opposite ideas. So see, we have eliminated three options. It's between C and D. Let's see the last one. You can see for yourself that guaranteed does not make sense at all. Okay, the last one, guaranteed, does not make sense at all. It is unacceptable. They find it unacceptable. So that is why E was our answer for fourth. And you could eliminate on see each of these options on the basis of each of the blanks. Uh, yes, I did not even need to look at sprinkling, right? Did not even need to look at words like disparaged, condemned, etc. But for our knowledge, we look at them to disparage someone. Dis plus par. Par means that they're equal. Dispar. That means you are belittling them. You are telling them that, okay, you are inferior to me. So to disparage someone is to belittle someone. Condemn, you understand when you criticize something. Okay, that's when you condemn it. Altruism, a feeling of charity for your fellow mankind, basic for your fellow humankind, love for your fellow humankind. That is altruism, charitable feelings. Magnanimity is a related word. Barbarism is cruelty, right? Okay, so barbarians. If you've watched GOT, you will be able to relate to what I'm saying. Barbarians, right? Scorned, when you dislike something, when you're contemptuous towards something, that is when you scorn it. Sprinkling of laws, its laws have not been sprinkled. They cannot be sprinkled, so to say. Slew, a large number of something. A large number of something. That is what fits here. Right? So these are some of our vocabulary questions, and see, we picked up so many vocabulary words from them. Elimination is absolutely the better choice. Okay. I endorse elimination, right? So that's why E was the answer here. Okay. Now, coming to some grammar questions, because you could see that there were a fair number of grammar questions also. So, see, 5 to 6 questions are asked. You can see that there is going to be an almost equal spread, perhaps, of grammar and vocab, right? So, coming to these, these can be of various types. So, here is your first question. You have to identify the incorrect sentence or sentences here. Yes, these are your options. Thank you, manifestation. Okay, I've got A. All right. Okay. So, absolutely correct. This is an easy question. It's a question tag question. Okay, it's trying to check your knowledge and understanding of question tags. And this was because a question based on question tags was asked inside. That is why we have framed this one. So, this was the sapiens' secret of success, wasn't it? Your question tags have to be of the same tense, right? So, wasn't it? We pushed past tense, didn't we? Past tense. So it's only one that is incorrect. Others are fine. If if the sentence is positive, the main sentence is positive, then the questions tag is usually negative. Okay, there are exceptions, but usually it is negative. Similarly, if it is negative, then the question tag is positive. Right? The debate continues to rage. So here we'll use doesn't it, because if something is happening, so the debate in a way does continue to rage, doesn't it? That's why we are using that. So these are fine. 2, 3, and 4 are fine. It's only 1. Sapiens is written correctly. Sapiens, we are talking about Homo sapiens here, the entire species. So the name of the species is Homo sapiens. So sapiens ka, if I want to say that, sapiens apostrophe. Now some of you must be thinking, why not sapienses if I'm referring to it collectively as one species? This is your choice actually. Okay, with proper nouns, this becomes your choice. So you can say Keats's poetry also. Keats's poetry also. Yeah, let me write here. Keats's poetry. Or you can say simply Keats' poetry also. Jesus's birthday also or Jesus' birthday also. Whenever the proper noun ends in S, it becomes your choice. So no, this is not incorrect. Okay. All right. Chalo. So only one. See, it's not that Zat asks difficult questions only. There are easy questions as well. So let's have a look at this one. 5 different sentences. One of them is incorrect. Tell me which one it is. Yes, Suraj. All right, all right. Let's see. Okay. Past tense. Okay. So most of you say C. Okay, I've got one E and one D also I've got. Okay, so that's what I was looking at. Let's see. Mostly you say C. You are absolutely correct. If the car broke down, I would sue. Okay, past simple here. If I'm using the past simple here in the hypothetical conditional, I will use past simple here as well. Would sue. Okay, hope this makes sense. Uh, when do we use this would have sued? If the car, if the car had broken down, if the car had broken down, I would have sued the manufacturer. I would have sued the manufacturer. This structure is correct. Now see past perfect and again the perfect structure, right? Would plus perfect. Now E, had you asked me, see, you can write it like this also. If you had asked me, sorry, if you had asked me, I would have helped. If you had asked me, I would have helped. So both the ways of writing this are correct. If you had can be changed to had you asked me. This is also fine. This is also fine. So no error here. Then D is a very interesting one. Did you notice this? D is a very interesting sentence. Although the answer here was obvious, but if Sophie had gone shopping, she would have had several new dresses. Would have had several new dresses. Why? Why am I writing it like this? And how is it correct? So it is correct because here would have, in a way, I'm saying owned or possessed. That's what I want to say. To have something is to own or possess it, right? So instead of writing she would have possessed, she would have owned, I have written this had because one meaning of the verb to have is to own or possess. So I'm using it in that sense here, right? Whereas here, when I say had, this is just a helping verb. Here it does not mean to own or possess. So two functions of the verb have, right? Hope this makes sense. Correct. Sociopath, narcissist. Absolutely correct. Right? So C is our answer. Answer was pretty obvious, but the sentence taught us something about would have had structure. Okay, the question. Question number 10. Yes. Okay, so you were asking this earlier. How much do you need to maximize your score in VALR and DM if they happen to be your strength? I don't have that 2022 ka data. I have that 21's data. So according to that, you need to score a 14.75 for a 99 percentile in VALR and a 12.5 in DM, right? So 14.75 and 12.5. Accordingly, you can calculate how much you need to attempt, what is your accuracy like, right? वो सब calculations कर लो, right? So I was just looking for 2022 data, I couldn't get it. Okay. Acha, sorry, I'm hiding some things. Just a second. Uh, Let me just go invisible for a while. Sorry. She would have had an ice cream. Yes, yes. In the sense of eating also you can use it, Harsh. You can use it in the sense of eating also. Correct, correct, Harsh. Yes, cutoffs are in the single digit manifestation for DM. A, okay, C, D, others. There are some obvious errors in some sentences. Rely on them. C or D, B maybe, E, all right. सब कुछ ही आ गया अब मेरे पास. A, B, C, D. I've got every option out there. So what is the most glaring error that you can see? Okay, which sentence do you think is absolutely incorrect here? Tell me that. I'll stay invisible for this question, okay? Which sentence is absolutely incorrect? You see, you feel that sentence 5 is absolutely incorrect. How? We cannot stop, okay, we cannot not stop the march of history, but we can influence its direction. So, okay, we cannot not stop. That means we can stop. I think this is a typo. This is a typo, okay? We cannot stop is what we wanted to say. I am so sorry. This is a typo. Okay? All seem pretty correct. One, okay. One has a very, yes, one has a very glaring error. See, if you've read the rules of tenses, about 70,000 years ago, the moment I give a time point about so and so time ago, I need to use the past simple. How can I say had started here? It should be started. So one has an error, right? Right at this moment, C, D, E go out of the window. Okay. Then, if I look at this sentence, just a second. Okay, three बाद में करते हैं, but there was another sentence which has a glaring error. While the Industrial Revolution created working class, the next big revolution will create the useless class. So if I'm saying the useless class, shouldn't I say the working class? And that too when I'm talking about a specific class. So 6 also has an error. 1, 3 and 6. B Bangalore is the answer here. Okay, B Bangalore is the answer. Anyone who said that? Amrit said B maybe. Okay. All right. Then Ashish also said B. Good, good. Those who said B here. The working class. Acha, what is the error in 3? Again, very interesting errors here. Claims of an earlier presence. Claims of, but there are claims of an earlier presence. Okay. So at present, the earliest unquestioned evidence, evidence that is not disputed at all, that is beyond doubt, is called unquestioned, not unquestioning. Evidence can't question other people, right? Evidence थोड़ी और लोगों को जाके question कर रहा है, so it can't be unquestioning, it is unquestioned. So 3 is also erroneous. B is the answer here. Okay, so this was a slightly tricky one for you. Okay, and a good question. We had to spot the incorrect sentences. I hope it is clear now. The others are fine. It often takes decades of searching. Acha, why searching? Why not search? Anybody who thought of this and that's why thought that 4 is erroneous. What will you say? It takes hours of running to reach that place, or it takes hours of run to reach that place? You would say it takes hours of running only, right? You have to name the activity. You have to name the activity. So you will say hours of running, not hours of run. Similarly, hours of decades of searching and not decades of search, right? So fourth is fine. There is no error in fourth. I hope this is crystal clear to everyone. Okay. Now coming to our next question. So always start elimination from that sentence about which you are absolutely sure. So for instance, 1 was the easiest for me here, right? So I right away eliminated C, D and E and then I focused on these. That's what I did. Okay. All right, then let's come to our 11th question. A part of the sentence is expressed in 5 different ways. You have to give me the correct one. From 19. Let me just sit like this so that I don't have to disappear. Okay. This is easy if you ask me. I want a lot of responses. Okay. Others? All right. So, of course, B and D can be eliminated because our subject is, what is our subject for which we are using is or are? What is the subject? It is belief, isn't it? Belief is the subject here, not famines. So, once I know that, I can very easily eliminate B and D. So, here instead of reading horizontally in such questions, it's better that you read vertically. So, I eliminated B and D right here. Then I noticed that, okay, there are differences in the structure here by the fact that, by the reason of. So, it is bolstered by the fact that there has not been a single famine since 1947. Makes sense, okay? Doesn't I mean, to me, nothing looks wrong in A. But still, let's have a look at C and E. Is bolstered by the reason of not a single famine. Reason of not, by the reason that there has not been a single famine would have made sense. Also, being there, also from 1947. So, a lot of red flags, right? Not just one. Is bolstered by the fact of there being no famine. Again, from, no, since is the preposition that you need. Okay, here, sorry. Since is the preposition that you need when you talk about something that has been happening since a particular point of time, or that that had happened, okay, that has happened since a particular point of time. Basically, perfect tense जब भी आता है, चाहे present है, past है, future है, okay, or with perfect continuous, you use this structure since and for. Since for a point of time, for a period of time. So that's why A is the answer here. Okay, not E. From 1947, incorrect. All right. Now, coming to the 12th question. Again, eliminate and you'll get there. Yes, Harsh, you are correct. It's because of from that we've eliminated. Both in the party, the last one is both in the party and government. Okay, I've got one response. All right. Quite a few B's here. In the, okay. All right, let's have a look. So first of all, the shifting sands of time. The shifting sands. Whenever there is a change, right? For that we use the shifting sands. And just give me a second. I forgot to plug in the charger. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm so sorry. Right. So the shifting sands of time refers to the changing times. Usually when, some difficult change happens. For that we use the shifting sands of time. Now because it is sands, of course this is plural and has does not fit. So A is eliminated right away. Have ensured a meteoric rise, have ensured the meteoric rise. That's the difference. For, of, the, okay, so we have to figure some of these things out here. The key is this, both in the party and in the government. This is a parallelism question. If I have both X and Y, okay, both and they come together, and when they come together, X and Y must be parallel to each other, must be consistent, must look similar to each other. So both in the party and in the government. So X and Y, if I call this X and this Y, they are consistent in B. But if I look at the others, both in the party, here in is missing, so eliminated. In both the party, if here there is just the party, then I don't even need in here. So this is the error here, eliminated. Then both again in, यहाँ पर in है और यहाँ पर तो the भी नहीं है and government ही हो गया अब तो खाली, right? So E could be very easily eliminated. B, Bangalore is the answer. Okay, we'll try to wrap it up by 8:15. We'll try. Okay. So this is the answer here, B, Bangalore. I hope this is clear to everyone. Okay. Now, coming to our 13th question, you have to identify the incorrect sentence here. Yes, please listen to our team, like this awesome session in case you find it awesome. If it's using for leader son, that then can't we avoid in the government? Why should we avoid it, Gaurav? Just because I say leader, that is why you're saying it. Just a second. So, the shifting sands of time have ensured a meteoric rise for the leader's son, both in the party and in the government. Not necessary. No, see, if I talk about a leader, right, this person could be a former leader also. So this person may not have any influence in the government as such. So Also, if somebody is becoming influential in the party, that's no guarantee that the person will be influential in the government also. So I need to write both. Okay, that's not redundant at all. Okay. Acha, why do we need in two times? Acha. You're asking, is that the question? Okay. Uh, you are right in saying that I could have written it like this also. See, one way of putting it is have ensured a meteoric rise for the leader's son in both the party and the government. Okay, I could have written it like this also, and that would also be correct. Have ensured a meteoric rise for the leader's son in both the party and the government. So that is a grammatically correct sentence, and you are right, it would even be a better sentence than B because it is more concise. Okay, so good observation there. Okay, let's go to this one then. 13th. Chitransh, A was eliminated in question 12 because of has. Shifting sands. Sands is plural, so they'll take a plural verb, have. Ashish says B here for this question. What do the others say? This is a good question. I've got some B's, I believe. Yes? So what is wrong with B? And I'm so sorry if I'm hiding something. Okay, let me just go invisible once again. Okay. Yes, what is wrong with B? But we're talking about exports. So R is fine. No, India's exports, come on. India ke exports and exports R is fine. Why is exports exports and imports are exports are declining or are exports is declining? Our exports are declining. You use plural here. Okay, so that is not the problem with B. India may be singular, but okay. So probably this is in the question form. That's why you're facing this problem. Uh, what question yourself this. Okay, whenever you're confused about the subject, no, ask yourself this what or who question. What or who verbs, okay, performs an action or is being something. So here, what or who is or are a cause of concern nahi hona chahiye. That's the error here. Is a cause for concern. Yes. What or who is or are a cause for concern. The error here is that of preposition. The idiom is cause for concern. Cause for concern means something about which you should be worried, something that worries you. So, it is the exports, right? So, exports is the subject here, not India. Okay, India is not the subject here. So, R is fine, no error in R. Okay, are a cause for concern. That was the error. That's why B is the erroneous one. The others are absolutely fine. No error in the other sentences. In the okay, I understand because of longer you are saying this. The thing is, in case the context is given to me, then I can use longer. So you are right in thinking that okay, long should be given here instead of longer. But the thing is that वहाँ पे वो idiomatic error है, that's a bigger error, right? And longer run fits in case, let's say, in one of the previous sentences of this article, you talked about long. Okay, then you can use longer run, right? So cause for concern, B Bangalore, idiomatic error. So see, idioms can come to bite you, and we should know some idiomatic phrases, right? So a good learning for you. Let's have a look at this one. This I framed keeping in mind a query that I got from a student. Okay, so let's see. Glad that you liked it, Harsh. Very easy question. This one. Just two more to go. Okay, two more questions to go. Let's see what you say here. A, D, all right. What else? Ashish says C. Okay. B, I've got. All right, all right. Let's have a look. See, with though, I do not need any other conjunction. Okay, though is enough in itself. The conjunction though indicates that contrast in itself. You do not need a yet. You do not need a still. कुछ भी required नहीं है. The answer is E here. Good, Harsh. E is the answer. I expected you to get this correct. And in fact, I addressed this in a previous session. So a student asked this query that after though should we not put yet. So I clarified this that though and although are sufficient in themselves to indicate the contrast. Okay, so you don't need any still, you don't need any yet. Though not every famous hopper made the trip, most of the favorites are here. Okay, so some of you must be thinking that it's because of the tense, right? That it should be perhaps has made the trip, has made the trip. That's why I was getting some B's there. So I agree that if I put a has here, then both these fragments, both these clauses come in the present tense. That advantage is there, but because of yet, it is absolutely incorrect. So we can put one fragment in the past tense that though not all of them came. Most of the favorites. Now I come to the past. Now I'm making a transition to the sorry. Now I come to the present. तो मैंने past से transition मार लिया यहाँ पर present में. You can do that provided it fits your circumstances. It fits the logic of what you're trying to say. So that's why E is the better one. Okay. Good one, narcissist. All right. Yes, made the trip is fine because let's say when you say this, made the trip, you are talking about, let's say you're talking about an event. It's a 15-day gala event, right? That I'm talking about. So now at the beginning of the event, it became clear as to who is attending, who is not attending. So though not all of them, not every famous hopper made the trip, not all of them came, not every one of them came. Okay, on day one. Let's say you are talking on day 7, day 9. I can say most of the favorites are here. The event is still going on. So you can use the past tense and the present tense both. Right? Acha, video has got frozen. Just a second. Let me just see. It must be a camera thing. Hello? Okay. I hope it has come unstuck now. All right. Hello, hello. Just a second, just a second. Okay. Better now? Let's continue. Right. Let's have a look at the last couple of questions very, very quickly. Okay. Yes. Look at the 15th question. Big Boss vibes. Yes. Big Boss चाहते हैं कि आप क्वेश्चन नंबर 15 अटेम्प्ट करें. Okay. C is what you say. Easy है तो बहुत. I just okay. This was added just to show you that okay, even this question type can come, right? So very easy question. This one, subject verb agreement. You should be very well versed with subject verb agreement. It's one of the easiest topics in grammar. Instruments is plural, so you need a plural verb here. It has to be translate, right? Has to be translate, right? So big boss बहुत खुश हुए. काफी बच्चों ने सही आंसर दिया इसका. Right. Let's go to the next one. The last question for the day. The entire sentence is underlined, so that's why the entire sentence has been repeated also. Let's see what you say. Acha, I am going invisible. All right, I have to. अभिषेक अगर पिछले वाला टास्क डिफिकल्ट था तो फिर ये कैसा लग रहा है अब? Okay. Amrit says A. All right. B. Okay, I've got a B. Okay. C. This tells me that you're tired now. Okay, the moment I start getting a lot of varied responses, that informs me that the students are tired. Okay, let's have a look at this. See this. So, it's all about its and its, right? It is all about this IT apostrophe s its and IT s its. So, IT apostrophe s is a contraction of it is, or in informal English, it has, right? So, despite it is claims, how is this correct? Those who are saying B, despite it is claims, this is absolutely incorrect. Okay, so eliminated. Then here this says it's not secret, whereas the idiomatic usage is it is no secret. It is no secret that. This is the idiomatic usage. It is no secret that. So I think this was a close choice here, right? Notwithstanding its claims that it is meeting renewable energy targets, it is no secret that India is lagging behind. So C is eliminated because it is no secret. Okay, in spite of the claiming, why claiming unnecessarily? In spite of its claims, so eliminated. Regardless of the claims that it's meeting, no, it is meeting. So I need it apostrophe s here. So eliminated again. A is the correct one. A is the answer here. Good, those who said A. Abhishek said A, Amrit said A, Harsh said A. Very good. So sometimes it's simple, it's not that complicated. A is the answer. Hope this is clear. Sabko. So you have to work a little for your grammar questions. Do practice past year papers. That will help you a lot. Okay, you can learn a lot of concepts through them, right? And when it comes to vocabulary, particularly, grouping and elimination is the key, something that we realized today. And even in grammar, see, what was I doing? I was in a way grouping only, no, when I was eliminating here, okay, this is wrong because of this is wrong because of this, so I grouped, I eliminated, यही कर रही हूँ मैं इसमें भी. So elimination, grouping and elimination is the key in vocabulary and grammar, and brushing up the basics of grammar will help you. Right, so this is it from my end. This is our CAT 23 comprehensive program. In case any of your friends are interested, you can recommend this to them, right? A very comprehensive one, as you can see from the pointers. These are our upcoming sessions. Do stay tuned, right? Gautam sir will meet you when there are just 10 days to that, right? He'll give you some important tips. And you have DM sessions also. Somebody asked for them. So yeah, XAT में DI भी आता है, numbers, geometry, सबके sessions हैं. Right? Welcome, welcome. Notwithstanding is used when you want to say regardless of. Okay, so you are basically ignoring something. Notwithstanding their differences, they were best friends. So, regardless of the differences, they were best friends. Right? So, I'm not very sure, Amrit. There may be one, there may not be one. Not very sure. Okay. All right. So join us for the analysis on January 8th. We'll come out with a first impression as soon as the paper is over, and then we'll come out with a detailed analysis, right? Some preparation schedule for the next 10 days. Okay. For poems, that poems. Just search one. I think I have conducted a session for poems last year I conducted it. So just search it on YouTube. You'll find it under the playlist of that sessions. You'll find the playlist in the description box, right? Uh, okay, I'll inform our team about this. Narcissist, I'll discuss it with our team. Okay, so we can stay connected via these platforms for the next 10 days. If you want some tips, I see, again, I am a big advocate of previous year papers. First of all, in case you haven't solved them, please do solve them. Do take around at least around 7 to 8 mocks for that. You do need that. Okay, you do need those mocks. Analyze those mocks well. Okay, and accordingly evolve a strategy. So these two are the most integral parts, right? Then when it comes to VA, which is vocab, grammar, critical reasoning, and parajumbles. So you should have your basics of grammar and basics of CR in place, right? Vocabulary you can learn through these previous year questions, right? You can learn through some word list that you've been following. Otherwise, I recommend this app also, Vocabulary Builder. You can download that. So that can be learned through these sources, but your grammar and CR basics have to be in place. So work on these in the coming days. That would be my suggestion to you, your preparation schedule for the next 10 days. Okay. All right. Yes, yes, absolutely, Swati. You should go about them in that way. Take them as mocks. Okay. All right, all right. It would have been great if you had conducted. Okay. Yes, good, Amrit. Good, good, good. In the spirit of that tells me that I am succeeding when it comes to you guys. Okay, great, great, great. Chalo. I'll see you then in the coming sessions. I'll request a session on poems. Okay, I'll discuss it with my team and I'll get back to you. Okay, bye bye and have a Merry Christmas, guys. Do take out some time to celebrate, but yes, don't stop preparing. All right, bye bye. See you. Welcome.